Hey, y'all, listen. Happy Thursday. Welcome in the building for Thursday night trending topics. Glad to see y'all. Glad you're here. Don't forget, do the diva a favor and hit the like button, okay? Listen, I'm inching my way towards 50K. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'll be really happy if you do that. Listen, guys, tonight's title is called Fair or Unfair. Fair or unfair? We got Letitia James. I'm going to call it the Diddy template, the Diddy blueprint, but they Diddying her. And what do I mean by that? They're trying to smear her name in the public eye before she even sees her day in court. She is facing 60 years behind bars, and they said, get this, a $2 million fine. Not million, I'm sorry, a $2 billion fine. Who can pay back $2 billion? That's insanity. But that's what she's facing. We're going to talk about it. Because, and why I'm saying doing the Diddy template on her, because now they digging all up in her family business. And they talking about her nieces are criminals, her sisters criminals, and that they got a whole criminal family. And you know why they doing that? Because they want you, by the time she goes to court, to do some conclusions. The niece the criminal, her sister's a criminal, so they're going to say that means she's a criminal too. We'll talk about it. Then I don't know if y'all saw this Jacksonville, Florida mother get arrested. It's controversial. I'm going to just say this, y'all, buckle your seatbelts, because I got some opinions on it. And I don't know if we're going to be in agreement, but I got some opinions on it. She got arrested, and she was called, I don't know, do they call this everywhere? I know in Jersey they say driving dirty. And what they mean by driving dirty, either your license is suspended, your registration is, you don't have it, you didn't pay for it, you don't have no insurance. They call that driving dirty. She was driving dirty because her license was revoked. That's the starters. And the whole interaction between her and the cops, it went left. It went left. Listen, y'all gotta riddle me this. In what world do you put up your dukes to a cop? Where do they do that at? In what world do you literally square up to a cop? She lucky to still be alive. Where they do that at? But we want to talk about it. And then, oh my God, Tanya, I appreciate that. Miss Diva, did you see that Emmanuel Harrow's dad confessed to unaliving him and is being charged with second-degree unaliving? How is that second degree unaliving? Because he confessed? Tanya, I appreciate you. I'm going to have to look that up and we'll talk about it maybe tomorrow or Saturday. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We'll talk about it. I appreciate you. Then we got this teen. We got this teen who killed a fellow student, 16, and they sentenced him to life in prison. Life. But when we talk about it, you're going to see that after he unalived the teen, well, let me do before. Before he unalived the teen, he had a whole lot of incidents where he was just being a menace to society. Then he was accused of unaliving the teen, and I guess lucky him, he must have been out on bail waiting his trial, because after he unalived the teen, they said he continued being a terror. And then since he's been in jail, his lawyers want to talk about how he got his GED and he been in all these programs and the so forth and the so on. Congrats on your GED, but no, you need to do some time. Now, life, I don't know. But the court said there is no hope for him. So he's going to be behind bars the rest of his life. Darn near. Now, let me give you an update to one of the stories we did last night. In my opinion, sent me some more videos on the girl who flew from New York to Florida, killed the boyfriend's other girlfriend. Well, honey, that girl from New York that flew to Florida and killed the girl, she was a whole terror. Terror is an understatement. A whole terror. Why? Because she had videos online before she even unalived the girl, letting the people know that I put my hands on people. I'm that chick. But if I forget about all the stuff she did before, she slit that girl's neck from one ear to the other. Do you know how diabolical you got to be to see a dead body on the floor and you start getting Clorox wipes and all that and cleaning up, and then you go and actually put on this girl's clothes? But I knew she was evil when I saw her on the stand. You know, Amy J, in terms of her pregnancy, everything is saying, yes, she was pregnant, but we dug and dug and dug, and I can't find nothing that says when she had the baby, if she has the baby, and who has the baby. But can I tell you the thing that I'm not understanding? When she flew back home with the boyfriend. I said, how did he not get locked up? She flew back home with the boyfriend. If I could give y'all any tips, let me give you this one. And I promise you, I don't care how much you like them. If you meet somebody and they say that somebody, that they still in a relationship, or they trying to get out of a situation with another person, no, good, I'm good, deuces. If I meet you and your ex is stalking me on the social media and your ex is calling me, no, I'm good. Y'all go have fun together. This girl got on a plane, flew to a whole nother state, and she was tracking the boyfriend. She had a tracker on his car. And they showed they got footage from the girl's building where the one girl came in dressed one way and how she left dressed another. This is terrible. And Tanya, did he tell them where baby Emmanuel was? Just let me know. And my email's running across there. You always send me an email too. But let me know. Did he tell where the baby was or is? But anyway, people, y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Excuse me. All aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Fair or Unfair. We got Letitia James. We got the Jacksonville mother arrested, and we got the teen sentenced to life. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Julius. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Callie. Hey, 48.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, listen, thanks for being here, y'all. Like I said, we staying connected to the stories. After all this time, I can't believe that father confessed to killing baby Emmanuel. And I don't understand the different degrees of this murder, but that's insane. He needs to do life. But anyway, he's not on the docket tonight. We'll talk about that another night. Let's do this first story. I'm gonna do Letitia James, so we could be in and out with her. I want y'all to understand what is going on in the world right before our eyes. Right before our eyes. I don't know if y'all saw my video earlier I did on this, but see, here's the thing. A lot of times what happens with the justice system, if we don't like somebody, we don't care if they're innocent or guilty. We're all like, yeah, railroad them, send them to jail. We don't care. Let them do 100 years. Let them pay the fines, whatever the case may be. But as we've been saying over here on my channel for weeks and months now, when you allow them to do it to a person that you don't like, that same blueprint will come and trickle down and bite you in the booty. And then you want to talk about it's unfair. So they railroaded Diddy. They put 1,000 stories out there about him being disgraced. He's a this, he's a that, whatever the case may be. You can't find one article where they're not disparaging him and saying something bad about his name. But you got the Luigi guy. Now listen, DV is serious, but he beat up somebody, and that somebody that Diddy beat up is still alive. You got the Luigi guy accused of taking somebody's life, and he's getting cash hand over fist up in the jail. Hand over fist. The people are just sending him cash. Ladies are literally, you have to be sick in the head. Sick in the head. Where you are that desperate that there is a man that's being accused of taking a life, and you cool with writing him talking about how bad you want him. I mean, what is going on in the world? This man is getting, they said the money is flowing in. He's doing better than some of the people in the streets. People won't give their money to somebody homeless, but they giving all this money to this man who is accused of taking a person's life. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Much love. So yeah. And so now, same happened. Thank you, Amy J, with Ted Bundy. It's unbelievable to me. So now, Tish James, all they keep talking about is her criminal niece, her criminal sister. And listen, I can only speak about my culture experience because that's where I'm an expert in my own culture, right? What happens sometimes in my culture, and it probably happens in other families too, because I think it happened to Justin Bieber, Britney Spears. When you become the first person in the family to have wealth, whatever wealth is to that family, everybody leans on you. You got an uncle that died. They like, well, call Uncle so-and-so because he has the money, he'll have the money. And they're leaning on the one person that made it out or rose to the top. So I'm thinking what happened with this Tish James was she rose up. She's the Attorney General in New York. She must originally be from Virginia. So she goes back to Virginia, and she get one house for the grandniece, and she got a house for her sister. But her sister, who I'm guessing this is her children, is a menace to society. Like to go up in the store, stealing the stuff and all of that. So apparently she had two houses out there in Virginia. One the sister was staying in, one the grandniece was staying in, and both of them have some criminal history. But it still goes back down to, that wouldn't be a problem. What it goes back down to is the paperwork for the houses wasn't done right. And so now they're on her behind. Let me go ahead and share a screen so we can get into this story. And Tish, I feel for you because, honey, this darn 60 years and all of that is just too much. Let me share a screen. So Letitia James is housing felon OnlyFans model relative at another Virginia property, which also faced Fed investigation. So Norfolk, Virginia, New York Attorney General Letitia James is housing a second felon family member at her properties in Virginia, and the Post can reveal she and her big sister were partners in crime. So James' grandniece, Kayla Thompson Hairston, 21, who is an OnlyFans star with a public X-rated social media presence, was charged in April 2024 with lying about her felony criminal record when she tried to buy a gun in Suffolk, Virginia, according to court docs. Kayla was legally disqualified from owning a firearm due to an August 2020 felony charge of malicious wounding, which Virginia laws defines as a crime in which a person shoots, stabs, cuts, or wounds any other person, or by any means causes bodily harm with the intent to maim, disfigure, disable, or kill. Thompson Hairston was a juvenile at the time, and the records of that case are sealed. Well, how sealed are they if y'all still found out about it? In 2019, when Kayla was just 15 years old, she was also caught up in the criminal hijinks of her big sister, Nakia Thompson, 36, who is a wanted fugitive by North Carolina authorities with a slew of arrests, according to docs. Kayla's social media profile includes photos of her flashing her naked body and also flashing cash alongside a boyfriend. She recently announced she was pregnant, and she posted numerous videos of herself dancing with her baby belly exposed. Both family members, Kayla Thompson Hairston and Nakia Thompson, live in houses owned by James that have been at the center of a federal criminal scrutiny over mortgage documents that James signed. James is currently facing 60 years in prison for bank fraud, 60 years, and false statement charges after federal prosecutors accused her of lying on the mortgage application for the house where Thompson lives. James said that the property, which she bought in 2020 for $137,000, was a second home and that she would primarily occupy it. The feds, however, say she moved Thompson in and collected rent on the property soon after she bought it, and that her alleged lie allowed her to get a better rate on her mortgage, a $19,000 gain. See, they keep upping it because first they said 18, now it's up to 19. We keep going, it's going to be 20,000. James has denied wrongdoing, and Thompson told the federal grand jury that she was living in the house rent-free. The under fire attorney general covers the cost, but does not reside at the home, according to neighbors. That's Letitia James, said Jesse Meadowbrook, who has lived 16 years on the same street. When shown a picture of the New York Attorney General, I never seen her hair. Kayla lives at another James-owned home, which the Post investigated after it was cited in a criminal referral sent to the Department of Justice in April. For that home, James was accused of signing a mortgage document stating it would be her principal residence. despite her job being 350 miles north in New York. Jane says she co-signed a $219,780 mortgage with her niece, Shamise Thompson Hairston, who lives there full time. She said that when she realized the error, she had the document amended to note that James would not reside there. Shamise is the mother of Kayla, who lives with her, and Nakia, who lives at Jane's other Northwood property. A third daughter, Courtney, also lives with Shamise. So Shamise is Letitia's James' sister. And then she got the nieces, which is Kayla and Nakia. Then she got a grandniece, which is one of the niece's kids, I'm guessing, who lives in the other house. It's a mess, right? So Thompson and Kayla Hairston are busted in August 2019 for an alleged theft scheme at Macy's in Dilliers. That's some of her pictures that she put online, one of the nieces. So during the arrest, the officer said one of the sisters swore at him and told him to get the F off her, according to the criminal report. Thompson was also hit with contributing to a delinquency of a minor for bringing teenage Kayla, as well as her two children, on her crime spree, records obtained by the Post show. She later pleaded guilty to one charge, each of petty and grand larceny, and was given 2 years probation in order to pay $2,020 in fees. Court documents show that the charges against Kayla for attempted purchase of a firearm by a felon were dropped. In April, James was hit with a federal criminal referral for mortgage fraud, alleging she falsified records to get a more favorable loan rate when she purchased a residence in 2023. Documents signed by Attorney General stated that the home would be her principal residence, despite serving as a New York State prosecutor more than 300 miles away. James' lawyer, Abby Lowe, called the referral a Maryland's hypocritical salvo in President Trump's revenge tour against the prosecutor who marshaled a civil fraud case against him and his Trump organization, culminating with a $450 million judgment last year. Lowe, who also represented the former first son Hunter Biden in his federal gun and tax-related criminal cases, claimed the document she signed was merely a clerical error. Then, in a twist that feels like deja vu, James was indicted last week by a Virginia federal grand jury on charges of bank fraud and making a false statement to a financial institution in order to secure a mortgage for her second Northwood home. Federal prosecutors accused James of lying on her mortgage application when she bought the house where Thompson lives, claiming it was a second home that she would not rent out in order to attain a favorable rate. James' signature appears at the bottom of a second home rider on Fannie Mae Freddie Mac mortgage document dated August 17, 2020, which explicitly lays out what the home can and cannot be used for. It goes so far to include a section saying James would be considered in default on the $109,600 loan if she or anyone else acting at her direction gave inaccurate information or statements regarding her occupancy of the residence as a second home. James faces up to 60 years in prison if convicted on both charges. She has repeatedly and strenuously denied the allegations against her, vowing to fight. A representative for James had no comment when reached out to the Post by the Post on Wednesday. Okay, and then is this the one I want? That's not the one I want to show you. There's another video I want to show you about. I'll pull it up and show it to you in a little bit. In my opinion, your thoughts?
My thoughts is you better have your stuff in a row before you get out here in these streets and playing around. I don't know what's wrong with all these people. Okay, every last one of these politicians, mayors, all they doing this crooked stuff, and then when they get called out, they saying, "Whoa, it's me." Well, if you wasn't doing it in the first place, you wouldn't have to worry about nobody targeting you. That's first thing first. Let's all be law-abiding citizens and handle our business the right way. Secondly, what does it have to do with what her sisters or her nieces did? That ain't her responsibility. She can only be responsible for the decisions and the choices she made. It's unethical to throw that. Oh, okay. Well, her sister is a criminal. Her niece is a criminal, so she got to be a criminal. No, just because somebody else is a criminal don't mean I'm a criminal. I'm my own person. It's crazy.
It is very crazy and it's sad. Thank you, in my opinion. Julius, your thoughts?
But what does this have? uh, They're bringing up her criminal and her niece's past. What does this have to do with her? And it's making me think that, like, really, this is just a retaliation attempt. I mean, she hasn't really done anything wrong per se, but it's like, yeah, hogwash.
Thank you. Like I said, she's fighting it. Give me 1 second. I'm coming to you, 48, but let me just show y'all this really quick.
Jury in Virginia has indicted New York Attorney General Letitia James on criminal charges after an investigation by the Department of Justice.
Chanley Painter has the details. Good morning, Chanley.
Hey, good morning. So New York Attorney General Letitia James facing federal mortgage fraud charges after prosecutors say she falsely claimed a home in Virginia as her second residence while using it as a rental property. A federal grand jury finding that she was then able to obtain more optimal loan terms. Well, James now faces a 2-count indictment, including 1 count of bank fraud and 1 count of making false statements to a financial institution. Each count carries a potential sentence of up to 30 years in prison and up to $1 million in fine and forfeiture.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization.
Critics of President Trump say he called on the Justice Department to bring charges against James as retribution for previous lawsuits she brought against the commander-in-chief during his first term, something that those in the administration and federal prosecutors, of course, deny. The U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia say this, quote, no one is above the law. The charges as alleged in this case represent intentional criminal acts and tremendous breaches of the public's trust. The facts and the law in this case are clear, and we will continue following them to ensure that justice is served. James is set to be arraigned on October 24th. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, you're not supposed to say untruths to banks.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you,
You really
Chanley.
can't talk about weaponization when you have a person that campaigned on getting Donald Trump and then did it once they became the attorney general. I just don't have the appetite to hear about.
She would sit in the court, kick off her shoes, and just watch the whole trial every single day. I'm Steve Ducey.
48.
Hey Diva panel and chat. Okay. My thing with Letitia James is I hate that it's come to this, but she knew what she was doing. I mean, come on. And when you go, that's why they say, like, make sure you taking care of your stuff before you go looking around and other people's stuff. And I know that she was doing her job when she was prosecuting Donald Trump. And I don't like Trump at all. I don't like anybody that's up in the White House, period. But um, I feel like I just feel like she messed herself up. Like
Yeah.
she messed herself up trying to be this super prosecutor, and then the one that needed to be in office so this wouldn't happen didn't get there. I think that it's only fair that she has to go through the same criminal process that Donald Trump went through. Now, do I think that it will hold up? No. Just listening to the story, I'm thinking of things that I could say. That's like, this is why I did this for my family member. Just for example, maybe someone in her family was escaping DV, and she needed to put that home or put them in a safe place. So I'm thinking that it is ways that she could probably like get out of this. But I think that she knows that she's wrong. And one of the things that they love to say in court is that ignorance of the law doesn't excuse you from the law, and that's for us regular folk. So I don't think they're gonna have any kind of like sympathy for her or anything like that. I don't think that, because she went to school for this. So the ignorance of it and clerical errors and stuff like that, even when you talk to attorneys and you're dealing with paperwork, they tell you to read over it. When you go to sign a home, you have a lawyer and an attorney. They go over every line. So like,
Mm.
I don't get how it could even be a clerical error. I think she just needs to go on, just come up, confess it, say who she bought these houses for and why, and just deal with the consequences. But 60 years, that's a bit much. I think they just said that to like scare us, but I think she will have to deal with consequences. And another thing with they saying that she's taking advantage of this system, there are a certain amount of loans at certain percentage rates or whatever that they give to people. And if you are a person that come in and you're taking advantage of that, you're taking it away from a family or a single person who really needs it. So, I hate it's come to this, but if you do the crime, you got to do the time.
That part. Brown Eyes, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Diva, she charged Trump for mortgage fraud also. So no one is above the law. You are correct. That's the ironic part about this, right? But in addition to that, I think these mortgage companies have to hold some accountability too. Because when you go to get your mortgage, you have to show pay stubs. You have to let them know where you work. You got to give all this information. You got to give your bank account information and all of that. So let's be clear here. Unless I'm planning to move from New York to Virginia, and that's a possibility, right? But let's be clear. You knew when I gave all my stuff to this mortgage company, they knew that I was the attorney general in New York. They saw my pay stubs was coming from New York, and there's some jobs that you can't do remote, and I think being the attorney general is one of them. So they knew where she lived, they knew where her paychecks were coming from. I think they need to have some accountability in this too, with to ask people questions and maybe have them sign other documents saying, okay, I see you work in New York, but you claiming it's going to be your second home or whatever. How you doing that? Kylie, your thoughts?
This ain't looking too good. I think that it is really looking like she's guilty. And for you to be guilty of something that you thought you could get away with, and to be up here talking about, oh, it's retaliation, it's retaliation. No, it's not retaliation. You committed a crime.
Mm.
And you feel like you wouldn't have gotten caught if it wasn't for this retaliation. But I was never a fan of that stuff they were doing to 47, because first of all, it was not going to stop him from running. So
Mm.
to me, what was the point? So all of that stuff was just a bunch of grandstand putting on a show. And it's like, if it wasn't going to prevent him from running from office, then what did y'all do this for? Y'all just just thought people just wouldn't vote for him. People don't care about that. People voted for this man because of one big issue, and then it may have started piling on after that. But initially, when he first started running, we all know what the issue was that got him this big massive following. And unless you guys were going to counteract that and say, you know what, you're right, we do need to take care of that, that would have been the only thing that would have took steam out of his sails. So I was never a fan of this whole process. And if you're gonna do something like that, you need to make sure that you don't have any skeletons in your closet. All of this screaming, it's retaliation, it's retaliation. You signed the papers. So are these papers fake? Is that what you're claiming?
Mm.
And then the whole thing about the niece being on OnlyFans and all of this stuff. Well, we already saw with the Diddy trial how they move. They plant a bunch of ridiculous, crazy, fantastical, far-fetched stories about you in the press. So by the time you go to court, people associate you with being a criminal and a lowlife. This is what we've been saying this whole time. This tactic that they used is not going to stop with Diddy. They're going to continue to do this to other people. So I don't know. I hope this lady don't get 60 years. I hope she don't get no years. I hope maybe she just have to pay a fine or forfeit the property or something.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't believe she's innocent unless they're gonna find a way to say that these papers are fake.
Mm. I think that she was trying to help family members out, and it's sad, but in helping them out, right? Because listen, I don't care how much money you make, holding down three houses is going to be a lot. Oh, we miss you too, Brown Eyes. Glad to see you back. Thank you so much again for the super chat. Much love. Um, I think that she was, as I read it, right, because her sister had a home. I just feel like she was trying to help them out, and trying to help them out, she wanted to get the best mortgage possible, and now it's coming to bite her in the booty. It really is. And then it doesn't help that, her family seems to, have a little criminal activity under their belt. So it doesn't help. And it's super sad. But one thing I learned, that I don't mind helping people out, but I have my limits. Like, I'm not about to rent a car for you under my name and you drive it, and then something happened, it's all on me. No, I'll take a pass on that, but I'll give you a couple dollars to go figure out how to get the car, whatever you got to do, but my name is not going to be on it. I'm not going to rent out a hotel room for you and it's under my name. I'm not doing that. When you do stuff and it's under your name, you are going to be responsible. Even if I later said, well, I did it, but I wasn't there. I did it for my cousin. I did it for my brother, my uncle, what, it don't matter. This happened. You owe the money. So I feel like she was trying to do a good deed for her family, and now it's gone left. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think she was trying to help out her family members as well. I hope that she comes clean with this. I don't, I don't want to see her going to jail. And they killed me when they say nobody above the law. Obviously, 47 is above the law, because if he wasn't, he would be in jail or prison right now. So there are people above the law. And yes, he's petty. He's very, very, very petty. And I'm hoping that they will go back and see that she didn't try to do this as a fraudulent thing, but was trying to help her family members, especially if they have like felonies and all that type of stuff, and they didn't have no money to get the homes, and that she was helping them, which is a good thing. If I have enough resources or whatever, if my family members need me, I'm going to try to help, but I'm going to do it the right way. And maybe because she telling folks that this is her house, and writing down as the primary, so she could get that a mortgage rate, and because can see where her niece paying that mortgage, what I'm saying. So I'm just saying, maybe she's trying to get it down low that they could afford it. I'll help you get it, but let me see what I can do, and you gonna have to pay the rent. You get what I'm saying? But I wish she would have made sure she checked everything over first. And for her coming for 47, he's done way worse. I mean, with Trump Tower, with Mar-a-Lago, he inflated the with the mass of what it was worth. He's done worse than her, and now he's got John Bolton. Now they got an indictment out on him. Um, like I said, everybody that came after this man, he's trying to come back after them, and they so worried about this. This person did this. This person did that. You need to be worried about how these American people going to provide for their families when the government is shut down. That's what you need to be focusing on. Darn mortgage. People out here can't even pay their own mortgage because y'all laid them off and then got fired. Y'all worried about somebody that got money already that she can fight it, or she probably got a lawyer friend that can help her fight it. She probably ain't got to pay nothing. This is what they worrying about. They're not worrying about the American people, and it's sad. But
She's
that's all
hiring
I got.
a lawyer. She's hiring a lawyer because they
Behind the lawyer, okay. But
yeah, because
you know how they be dealing.
they
You know
give
what they
money.
be.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they friends and friends. You know what I'm saying? They do that. But what I'm just saying is they worrying about this. They need to be worried about the American people eating, sleeping, buying homes, getting food, going to work. But this is what they're worried about. This is totally stupid to me. I mean, I know it's a mortgage thing and all that, and people shouldn't break the law. But let's worry about these American people that don't have no food, no money, no nothing, and don't have a job. Focus on that. But that's all I got.
Thank you. A. Jane, she said, I'm confused. Currently, I'm looking for a place in Florida in the over 50 community. The plan is for my niece to live there full time and me in the winter. We share land in South Carolina. So we're going to be illegal. Well, if your niece ain't over 50 and you trying to have her in the over 50 community, yeah, that's a problem right there in and of itself. They don't play that in those over 50 communities. And to God be the glory, you know, to pray for me, y'all. I don't never want to go to one of them because the rules and restrictions in those communities are ridiculous. You own your home, and people under a certain age can't sleep at your house for more than 2 days, 3 days, and all kind of other nonsense. No, I take a pass on that. You're not going to be regulating my whole life just because I'm over 55 and trying to be in the community. No. So yeah, you got to look into that, girlfriend. Don't get yourself in trouble. Yeah, just go get you. Forget about the over 50 community. Just go get you a house someplace regular, and you and your niece, and make sure when you sign the mortgage loan, then you don't put nothing crazy on there. Yeah, they dictate how you live. You will not be dictating how the diva live. That take a pass. Okay. You gonna tell me I'm too loud on my podcast? No. Anywho, I listen. At the end of the day, and I said it before, and I'll say it until we hear more about this case, and we'll follow it all the way through. Is she signed the paperwork and she agreed that it was going to be one thing, and then it was another, Tish is in trouble. But we'll move forward. Let me go ahead and do this team, because the last one I got a little longer video to show. This team appeared to be a menace to society. And he unalived somebody. It was a fight over a girl. Unalive somebody. This is at 16. We just saw yesterday people in their 20s unalive somebody over a man. Now today, 16, two boys arguing over a girl. Now one boy is dead. The other one, listen, in all sense and purposes, he's dead because he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. I can't say this enough. I'm not fighting in driving myself crazy over some other human being that told me it's a wrap, it's over. Now, let's be clear. Depending on how involved I was with them and how long it was and how much in love I was, will I be in my house shedding some tears? Let's keep it 100. Yes. Well, I may need my girlfriends to come over and tell me, you got to eat, take a bath, and get back out to life. Yes. But am I going to go chasing after the new chick? No. Am I going to go out there chasing after that man? No. Two teenagers fighting over a girl, and now you got life in prison. But this particular kid, they said he was a whole menace to society before this situation even happened. Let's first look at the video, and then I'll read some details to y'all.
16-year-old to life in prison for the 2024 murder of a student inside Joppatown High School. Alexa Ashwell is live outside the Harford County Circuit Courthouse with reaction. Alexa.
Maxine, defendant Jalen Prince has been sentenced to a total of 80 years in prison in connection to the murder of Warren Grant. Silence inside the courtroom here inside Harford County Circuit Court as a judge sentenced Jalen Prince for the murder of fellow Joppatown High School student 15-year-old Warren Grant, a total of 80 years. Count 1, first-degree murder, the judge sentencing Prince to life, suspending all but 75 years in prison. And count 2, use of a firearm and commission of a crime of violence, 20 years, suspend all but 5 years, to be served consecutively, meaning after the count 1 sentence, followed by 5 years supervised probation.
We're happy with the result. It's a substantial sentence.
The Harford County State's Attorney following the sentence.
We ask for strong sentences for any violent crime, but most specifically, we just cannot have our children going to schools and not being safe, and we cannot tolerate gun violence in schools, and we will not tolerate that here, which is why, we asked for the sentence that we did in this case.
Back in May, a jury convicted Prince of the first-degree murder of Warren Grant back in September 2024. Investigators say an argument over a girl inside the bathroom ended with Prince pulling out a gun from his backpack and fatally shooting Grant. Inside court, victim impact statements were read from nearly a dozen family and friends of Grant, including his father. The state's attorney arguing Prince was not able to be rehabilitated, highlighting his record with the Harford County Public School System, at least 18 incidents, including assaults, and more than a dozen incidents at Charles Hickey School, run by DJS, before and after his murder trial.
He has this long-standing history of violence that we've seen in the school system. And then when we got the records and saw that he is still continuing this pattern of violence all the way up to the trial, after the trial, just that it wasn't stopping. And we heard in there that the defense mentioned all these programs that he's done, but it doesn't seem that those programs have helped because he's still engaging in violent conduct.
The defense also reading statements from character witnesses, including Prince's former coaches and mother. His attorney maintaining he didn't intend to kill Grant and the gun went off. And he's since earned his GED and completed numerous programs. Prince also addressing the court, expressing his condolences to anyone affected. The judge calling Prince a significant risk to public safety, sentencing him to a total of 80 years. The state's attorney highlighting because Prince is a juvenile, he's not eligible for life without parole and will likely serve at least 40 years. And in court, Prince's attorney advising him he has 30 days to file an appeal, which she has done or will do on his behalf. Reporting live in Harford County, Alexa Ashwell, Fox 45 News.
Hi, I'm Max.
Ooh. Hold on one second. Let me share screen again. Teen sentenced to life for the high school shooting. I think this video is the same as that I just played. Let me see. Prince was found guilty on May 29 for shooting a 15-year-old Warren Grant during an argument inside the high school boys' bathroom on September 6, 2024. Before the verdict on May 29, Prince admitted he purchased a gun and ammunition. How could he so young? Several weeks before he took the weapon to school in his book bag. Prince also admitted that he and Warren got into an argument inside the bathroom concerning a girl. Prince testified that he pulled out the gun because he was surrounded and afraid he was going to get jumped. When questioned on May 29th, Prince stated, "No, I didn't kill him. I didn't fire the gun. It accidentally went off." At the sentencing, State's Attorney Allison Haley spoke. And then we saw what she spoke and said that pretty much that they're not tolerating it in their schools. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to play the repeated videos. She had a longer speech, but you kind of get the gist of it. In my opinion, your thoughts?
I think this is happening far too often, and we gotta start getting these people locked up because they want to play around with people's lives, and this is not what we're gonna do. So he need to hold the life sentences, and it need to be a wake up call to everybody else and think it's okay to play with cop outs.
I agree with you. And how the school, the family of the unalive kids should sue the school because how did he even get into school with this weapon? Julius, your thoughts?
I believe this happened in Connecticut, didn't it?
Uh-huh.
So this is right down the road for me. 80 years. But I'm not gonna lie, nor front, he deserves it. You think you big and bad. You think you a gangster.
Mm-hmm.
Now I remember when I was coming up. Now all the gangsters who used to do all the gangster, the 50 Cents, the Jay-Z's of the world, they would come right out after putting out an album. Just because we rap about this, that doesn't mean y'all go out and do it. They will always make those clarifications. But these children, they scary. They is scary. They have no fear. None. And the fact that he is still being violent while in juvie, No, the sentence fits the crime. Over a girl. Again, fellas, you don't fight over a girl. That's what you do. I'll be like, all right, I got a shorty right over here. About to go holler. Case in point, there's plenty more fish in the dang sea. I got on it for the ladies yesterday. Fellas, today I'm getting on it for you. Get it together. Or else, as a society, we are screwed. We already are.
Thank you, Julius. 48.
Um, okay, Diva. So first I would like to say 80 years, but the possibility that he could be paroled in 40, he would only be 56. So hopefully it's somebody in his family that'll continue to keep fighting, um, so that he stays there for that amount of time. But then I have a different angle to look at it, right? It's becoming so repetitive, these stories of violence in schools and stuff. It almost makes me glad in a way that the education is getting defunded or whatever Trump is doing, where the money isn't going where it's needing to go. And I say that because maybe we need to have new thinkers coming along within education, because the old way of things isn't working. We're just suspending kids, and they're able to come back to school and bring weapons. Maybe every school, we pay good tax money, every single one of us do, regardless if you have a house or not. You pay good
Facts.
money
Facts.
in taxes. That every public school should be funded with metal detectors,
Mm-hmm.
every single freaking one. Early intervention. And when I say early intervention, when you see violence and stuff with mental health that's involving violence, get some programs. These people going to school for education and PhDs and all this stuff. I don't have all that. This is just something that I thought of listening to this story. Get some programs, get some schools together that's free, public, that these people and these families can have access to. Whether it comes out when they 5, 12, 16, if we really serious as a country about helping children not become these menace that we see, we as adults, we the people have the right to demand these things that our money is paying for. Like we was talking about last night with Miss Felicia, pushing um getting the school with the education and stuff like that. She was right in the way that education gets you out of things, but we cannot forget about the mental health aspect, and we cannot forget about access. I can't believe that, and I don't believe that there is a parent in every hood. All the parents in the hood raising their kids just don't give a damn. They just don't want their kid to go to the best school. No, we do. I can tell you, I know that there's people that stay in studio apartments, 1-bedroom homes, so their kid could go to a school, and they have to sacrifice either furniture, like you said, Diva, when you was raising your son. There's certain things that you have to sacrifice, but depending on your economic standing, that's based on what you can sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So to me, this story, he deserves the 80 damn years. He deserves it. 40 years, he'll be 56 years old, and somebody need to be in there when his ass is 56 to say, we remember, and
Mm-hmm.
and we said that change was gonna stop with you, but you're gonna receive this punishment. You're
Mm.
gonna receive this punishment. We're gonna try to stop these other children that's coming up in these situations. We're gonna try to stop that. Boys and girls school. You know what? One of the things that irritates the hell out of me, Diva, and it's why a lot of the times I'm looking in my city where I stay in Houston and seeing what political office can I get into. But then I have to talk to myself and be like, I'm like Trump in a way, because you could take me there and I will go, you go to hell, and I'm gonna go sit on the devil laps, light a cigarette, and we could go.
Mm.
So I just, we need to get it together as a community and demand more.
Mm-hmm.
We can help these children with these people with these educations. And like Letitia James with the lady from the last thing, like Raheem said in the chat, trying to help your family by doing illegal crap. We can't teach our kids to do wrong and show
Right.
them wrong and then expect these children to come up behind and do better. If you know better, you do better. And if you better
Woo.
out there could do for the community, let it be done for everybody. Boys and Girls Club need to be free. YMCA needs to be free.
You better
Let these
talk.
things be available for the community that you say that it needs to be available for. Don't just give out free abortions now. Don't do that. Don't just give out stuff for that. Give out stuff to save the lives of every child, no matter what the damn color, because all of them cutting the hell up.
You better talk. You
And
know
they
what?
all need to
And
have
let, and let
several
me and let me
seats.
say this to you too. The Y is now expensive. I have a membership for the Y, and it's me and my son. And when I say expensive, it's expensive according to, like, if you can't afford it in the first place, then it's expensive. I have a family membership. And so it's just like you said, some of the programs need to be free, right? And to teach the kids how to swim there, they should be teaching the kids how to swim there. It has to be more economical. It really does.
And can I
Because
say one more thing,
yes,
Diva?
yes,
And
because you spoke.
and put mental health in there. Have these men and women come in there to be big sisters and big brothers and give your experience. One of the things that I teach my sons is that they are valuable. I don't give a damn what the world say about a black man. You a black man that I'm raising. You be a black man that any black mother and father would be proud, single together, would be proud that their daughter has you. Because that's how the hell I'm raising you. We need men and women to be the buffer in these communities. And I'm talking to everybody. I don't, everybody. If you hear me on Diva Channel, I'm talking to you. We need that in these, this young man that they saying can't be saved, he could be saved in the jailhouse. But maybe it's a brother out there that's been through whatever this young man been through. Maybe when we follow the story, we'll hear more of his story when it come out. Maybe it's a brother that's been through what he been through that could come in and talk to these other young men that's like him because they're out there. You behave like that when you saying that you in love with somebody and want to take somebody out of here because of love. You don't love them, and you sure don't love yourself. That's not love. And that conversation is another conversation to have for another day. That's a deep conversation that needs to be had with every child. Maybe in sex education, maybe they need to teach about relationships when somebody don't want to be with you.
Come
Because they
on.
teach them about everything else, but what can sustain them to make them be a better people, a better person to feel good about themselves. It's so irritating.
Well, you know, when you spoke a word tonight, 48, and I appreciate you. And let me say this. Everybody needs to feel loved and belong, right? That they're loved and they belong somewhere. That's why how a lot of these kids end up in these gangs, right? They're not getting the love at home. They go to the streets are loving them, so they're gonna love the streets back. So they think that's love. And why do they think that's love? Because they're not getting love anyplace else. So, and you're right, not redeemable, right? It's sad that it got to this point. But where like how can he go buy a pow at 16? Where? In the ammunition. And this school failed the student that died. Why? Because how did he even get in this school with that in his backpack? And that's why your point of the metal detectors need to be in every school, because people kill me. Not in our neighborhood. It's happening everywhere because, like you said, everybody is cutting up. Everybody's cutting up. And I feel bad. It's too late in the sense that we're not going to allow you to have taken this life and you're going to be in the streets. But maybe that's why the jails need to be more of rehab than what it is. Jails are made to break you, survival of the fittest. And it needs to be more of a rehab. And instead of you being a number, they need to start calling you by your name. Instead of you having to sleep on a hard little thin mattress and no blankets, and you can only get this, and if people are giving you money on your commissary. Well, if I was in the streets and nobody loved me, who's going to love me in the jail now to put money on my commissary? It has to be something different. Callie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what's going on with this kid. He could potentially just be a sociopath. I'm not really sure. This doesn't really seem like this is like an environment where there like are, gangs and things like that. From what I could see in the story, this seems like this literally was just over some girl. And unfortunately, I had this happen in my family. My little cousin was unalived in the same manner. They were a little bit older. They were like 18, 19. You have people that are just running around and they are unstable. They are unwell in the head and they're doing stuff to people. And we want to have this society where we don't want to pay for no type of mental health services or interventions or anything for these people, because typically, like, and I think they said this in the story, this has been an ongoing incident with him doing stuff. So they knew that something was not right with this kid in the head. I do agree that he should not have been able to get into the school with that. But even nowadays, most schools don't have metal detectors. Some do. Some have the mobile ones. Like if someone's suspected, the school officer can then like waive it or whatever. But most schools, even now, still they don't have metal detectors. So I don't. They need to with all of these powings happening at these schools. That's for sure. That would be one thing, but then they just wait for you to get off school grounds. So I don't know what the solution is, but we definitely need to have more mental health services. And I do agree, instead of just sex education, we also need to have some type of counseling to teach these people how to have healthy relationships, because I think that the rhetoric behind relationships, especially since we had the whole gender wars online and the manosphere and all this crazy stuff, is really toxic and unhealthy now. So I feel like everybody is really out of their minds. But yeah, this is yesterday it was the women, now it's the teenage boys. Like, people don't want to get violent when the stuff ain't working right. No, you just go find you somebody else, but people are not being taught that. And this is a sad situation, but I want to know what we going to do with a 56-year-old man that's been in prison his whole adult life. What he going to do out in society where he was exhibiting sociopathic tendencies before he went to prison?
Nothing, Callie. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing. And that's why I think prisons need to be revamped and have like yoga classes, meditation, therapists, and they should be allowed to do things where it would help them if they potentially do get out of jail. Their work, they should be able to work and fix up their jail cell, and maybe buy paint to paint their jail. Like, I don't know, but I do know that something different needs to happen if you want these people to be reintroduced into society and be successful. Because you are correct. What do we do with a 56-year-old man that spent his whole life, adulthood, in jail? What do we do with him in the streets? But he does have another sentence. He pretty much is not going to get out, because they did. And I always get the consecutive and concurrent confused, but he got 2 consecutive sentences. So even at the first 80 years or whatever that goes, he got another 20-year sentence behind that. He's done.
So pretty much they gave him life. They basically say that's life, but they have to legally give you a number.
Right.
Yeah, because I was wondering, I was like, okay, this dude seemed like he a little off in the head, and then you put him in jail for all those years. What is he going to be when he gets out?
Right.
So.
Right. It's just
sad.
a waste of life. And I do wonder, just for purposes of trying to help future kids, I do wonder what his home life was like.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder, because there's something more to this that this child ended up in this situation and you was able to purchase a gun, and then you must have had it in your home. Yo, I stay up in my son's room even to this day, and he at the college. We
Yeah,
got,
that is true.
I don't want them to come here and they find something in there, and because now I'm not getting cleaned up. It's order up in my home. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this child needed counseling way before now, and he don't know how to deal with his aggression because you didn't fist fight the boy for the girl. You pulled out a weapon, and you felt that bold to bring that weapon in school and into the bathroom. So you knew what your intentions were. I don't know if you was planning on being the ammunition being released out there, out the pow or whatsoever, but yet still you took that chance. Um, in 80 years, stuff like that, I understand. I'm like, because I'd be upset if somebody took my child away too. But 80 years, when we have seen people get time less than that, and by him being young, which we know they don't excuse anything. But I think that he should have got therapy. Is they gonna give him therapy in there? Because obviously he got a anger problem because people saying that he's still getting in trouble while he's out on the streets. So something is not clicking, and to be put into a prison without having like proper care, proper mental care. Yeah, and like I said, he get out on the streets, what he's gonna do? Because everything that he's gonna know now is gonna be from the inside. It's not gonna be for what he knows on the outside. So whenever he does get out, um, it's sad. It's totally, totally sad. And I blame these governors and all these people, NRA and all these people to allowing these people to get these things, to get these pow pows. Pow pow is meant for one thing, and that's for unaliving somebody. So if you getting it for any other type of reason, that's a lie. That's what they're made for, to unalive somebody or to go hunting. And most of the time, it's hunting human beings. So if they put more restrictions on these things, maybe we'll have a better life and a better chance. These kids will have a better chance. But then again, they put them in these kids' hands because they're building these prisons to put these kids in because every head they get money for. So you know they're not gonna build the buildings, the prisons, and just let them sit there. They're gonna put the ammunition out there. They're gonna put the pow pows out there. They want you to do this so you can get in, put in these places, so they can make money off you. Plus, have you working jobs that they're putting in stores that benefit the work that you do. So these people need to get smarter and need to think because the system is set up to get you, and you falling right into it. Because there's no jailhouse that's gonna be just sitting there. They're losing billions of dollars on these things they building up, and they filling them up because they put the pow pows out there. They know that people is not getting properly educated. They doing everything they can. They're taking away jobs. They're making people want to unalive other people, steal, rob, and all that type of stuff. Those buildings don't sit there alone. They want people inside those buildings. So people, please talk to your kids and just get something going. I don't know, get something going for them because they're gonna get caught up in the system, and that's not what you want. That's all I got.
Thank you, Wayne.
You know, it's unfortunate, but a lot of these kids in this generation, they wasn't raised like us.
Mm.
You know, they wasn't raised where come in the house when the lights go off.
Come on, talk. Uh-huh.
They wasn't raised where, dinner time is this time and you sit around the table as a family, even if you poor folks.
You talking, Wayne.
Didn't have nothing. Sunday, whatever, they sat around the table.
Mm-hmm.
And a gourmet meal for us was like fried chicken, collard greens, some potato salad, or whatever. So these kids are being raised on iPads, being raised on Xboxes.
Come on.
Being raised on the internet.
Yes.
Our generation, we was outside. We wanted to be outside.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's time to come in. You better get in when the lights are. Now the kids don't even want to go outside.
Woo!
So you're going to tell me they have therapists, you know, when adults get too depressed, when they get angered, when they got too much going on, and they can go see a therapist. Okay, these kids don't get the therapist. So it just grows, the anger grows. Not only that, when we were coming up, most of our parents were way older than us.
Oh, well, Wayne, you're doing too much now, Wayne. You better talk. You better
Way
talk.
older than us. And when they looked, some of them didn't have to open their mouth. They just look at you. And you knew to get it right. Or they'd say something. And you knew. Now, you say something to the kids, and they talk back. Okay, little Johnny, don't do that. Mommy doesn't like that. Son, don't do that to your mama. Okay, go stand in the corner for 10 minutes. So when these children, 15, 16, underage, and commit these horrible crimes, we ready to throw them away for the rest of their life, say they're no good. The same money that they take and they put in prisons, when they get a child like this, why can't they take some of that same money for therapy, monitoring? And I'm saying this young man shouldn't go to jail. But I think there's still some value left. At 16 years old, you mean to tell me he got to be put away for 80 years old and die in prison? When you just had a woman that had a baby and put it in the trash can, you just had another man to take his child's life and they called it second-degree murder? I don't think you get 80 years for second-degree murder. He might be on the street at 10 years. But this young man got to be put away for the rest of his life. And you say, what are you going to, at 56? Did we just do a story on a man who was wrongly accused and was in jail for 30-something years, and he came out with a law degree? So you mean to tell me that
we did, Wayne.
we don't believe that this young man at some point, oh my God, I know I've done wrong. I've done it. What can I do to better myself? You don't think he may have get to the point we have the ability where maybe he wants to go in that law library in the prison, or maybe he wants to learn some other stuff. Maybe he's trying to get it together, and maybe if he does spend 20 or 30 years, whatever jail, he's 56. He comes out, and he has a skill. He learned something. But it seemed like our little brown kids, they want to put them away for life. Hell, they take away the education system. This idiot up there who don't know AI from A1. And she's over the education to close the Department of Education down. So are we really caring about our little children, our young men, our young women? Are the same programs provided for them as for like others get it? So no, I do think this young man does deserve time for, but I think money needs to be put in to educate and try to rehabilitate these people. That's what prison is for. It may not happen a lot, but that's what prison is for. And this is where some of the money can go. So when because these people, at some point, if you go in jail 10, 15, 20 years, I don't care. At some point, if you're going to come out, you would like to think that these people can come out to a society that they can participate in, they can be a part of. What good does it have them in jail for 50 years and they come out, they don't know nothing, they don't know what a computer is, barely know what a cell phone hardly is, and you expect them to be productive in society? No, this is not happening with this administration. So for all these people think, oh, we should be doing this, we got our rights, all this, that's almost gone. So no, I don't think this young man needs to be thrown away. And sure, y'all may, yeah, you can say it wasn't your child. And by the grace of God, it wasn't. By the grace of God, my son is still walking around. My grandson is still walking around. Never been to jail. And I was a single parent. So no, we can't throw this young man away. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, you know, I'm for rehab, but I'm also for, unfortunately, you do the crime, you got to do the time. And a life is gone. And I cannot sit here and say that if my son's life was taken, I commend the people that they got this forgiveness almost immediately. I want them to rub off on me. And I consider myself very forgiving. I don't know if I could
Me
be
too, Diva.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be so forgiving if my son's life was the one that was taken. Yeah. Yeah, and Amy Jane saying, but 16 years old Diva, he's too young for life in prison. But the caveat with this particular individual, he's saying the pow just went off. I don't know if y'all heard the part of the
And he
story.
was terrorizing before he did this.
Thank you, in my opinion. And how about this? After he knew he did this bad thing and was already in trouble, he was terrorizing afterwards too. So this is not a kid who maybe, and he said he went and purchased this pow. Who randomly purchases a pow? You went and purchased the pow in the ammunition, so you had to put it in there. And now you want to try to tell us you was surrounded in the bathroom and you felt like you was going to get jumped. Well, if you would have got jumped and then you would have said you got jumped, and maybe I could throw you a solid. But you was terrorizing before, you terrorized afterwards. I don't know what to do with this particular child. I got to sleep on it and come back to y'all maybe next week, trending topics, and tell you how I feel. But do I think he needed to do time? Absolutely. Do I think he got an excess amount of time? He did. And do I think there are people out there that did more than him and got less time? There is. So the time is excessive. But the other thing we have to learn, he's living in a community where they're simply not having it. There are some states, just like when these people go to other countries and they want to break the law, just like that. What was her name? Brittany Garner. Am I getting her name right? The WNBA player. She messed around and found out when she was in another country. So when you are in a state that they ain't playing them games, then you better not be playing them games, because they're going to have you hemmed up. Let me roll into this last story. I want to get into this. Now, I'm going to throw out my little pieces in the beginning. 2 wrongs don't make a right. But if you feel like you're going to put up your dukes for the cops, that's problematic if you ask me. You driving dirty, that's problematic. So this Florida mother went to pick up her child at school. She driving on a revoked license. She had a whole bunch of other previous driving situations. The cop talked to her and said, "What's up, blah, blah, blah." And it goes left from there. It was punching going on. It's a hot stinking mess. Let me play the first video on this. Do I want to do this version? God. Okay, let's play this version.
October 7th, outside the Idea Charter School located in the 1800 block of Bassett Road.
Hold on. I won't play all of it straight out because this is 21 minutes. I'm going to play some so we could get the gist of it. I'm going to go around to the panel. I'll play a little bit more. I add pieces to the story into it as we go along. So let's take a listen.
Erica McGriff, a habitual traffic offender with revoked Florida driving privileges and the parent of an IDEA student, illegally parked her car in an intersection and left it running and unattended. Officer Holton a JSO officer working as part of the Safe Schools program, attempted to lawfully discuss the matter with McGriff. She escalated the verbal conversation to physical violence. She violently resisted Officer Holton and eventually punched him repeatedly and bit him with such force that she left a bite impression on his forearm. Gibson and another woman pending arrest were originally spectators. Ultimately, however, they violated Florida law themselves by harassing Officer Holton and failing to provide him with a 25-foot area to safely detain McGriff after he gave them verbal warning to get back. They did not comply. Because Officer Holton was outfitted with a body-worn camera, his interactions with McGriff, Gibson, and others on scene were recorded. So I'll share that footage with you now. And additionally, a spectator on scene recorded part of the incident on a cell phone. Some of that cell phone footage has been posted on social media platforms. I will play that cell phone video after the body-worn camera footage is shown.
Hey, where you going? I need your license. I need your license. That's your car. I just saw you get out of the car. Okay. The driver went to the school, the driver's at the school, sir. You can get a ticket. I will please. Listen, you can get a ticket or you can keep playing this game to go to jail. I'm going to give you one chance. Sir, you create the drama. I don't want any drama. I want to go home and I want to leave. I just came to pick up my child. Okay. I just came to pick up my child. That's all. Please don't grab me. Please don't go on me. Don't grab me. Sir, let me go. You hurting my baby. No, I'm going back to my car. Let me. Please don't do this in front of my child, sir. Take me to my car, please. I will. You don't have to curse me. I will let you go. Please don't. You ain't got somebody. You got me. You won't punch me. You hurt me. You hurt me. Get off me. Put your hand up. I can't breathe. I can't She knows you close. All right. It's you. What's the pin number to your phone so I can call your mom? You want me to have in my head? Back up. Please. I'm a law enforcement officer. Female plus me. I'm your fault. Listen to 0245, that's your road. You see these cigars? Put it in my car. Put it in my car. She punched me and she bit me. Amani needs to go outside. What is it? I got to come out. Listen to me. She's playing. Put it in the floor. Put it in the floor. You got 25 feet. Get away from me. Are you going with it? Get in the car. Get in the car. Damn, you gonna kick me too? Get in the car and kick me.
So as a result of her actions on Tuesday afternoon, Erica McGriff was arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, and operating a motor vehicle while having a driver's license that is revoked as a habitual traffic offender, which is probably what led to her refusing to give some of those things over in the very beginning. These charges are all third-degree felonies, each punishable by up to 5 years in Florida State Prison. Additionally, McGriff was cited for multiple traffic violations. So what's today's takeaway? If you violently resist our officers, if you punch them, if you bite them, you will be arrested. If you crowd and harass our officers or any first responder after a verbal warning, you will be arrested. JSO will always hold accountable those who violate the law. But this entire episode reaches beyond even law violations. It speaks to the breakdown of civil society that some in our community not only quietly accept, but actively promote. So beyond breaking the law, these adults committed these acts in front of vulnerable and impressionable school children. These adults modeled and normalized for school-age children not only breaking the law, but also lying to the police, violently resisting the police, punching police officers, biting a police officer, and harassing a police officer, and encumbering a police officer. Officer Holton was simply doing his job. Disappointingly, this negative modeling had direct consequences here. Currently, there's an active pickup order for a juvenile for making threats to shoot up Idea Charter School because of this incident. So JSO will not tolerate those who violate the law and victimize our officers or any member of our communities. These jobs are tough enough without all of that. So we reject the flawed theory promoted by some that this type of unprovoked violence is shown to police officers is somehow justified. I ask every member of this community who enjoys the privileges of a civil society, one organized by laws, to reject this flawed theory. No one is above the law. No one should be hurt or hinder a public servant doing the work that is a critical function to our community. So now I'll take any questions that you all may have.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
The black male with the beard, he was in a patterned shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll play a little bit more in a bit. Y'all got the gist of it. She was driving dirty, as I would like to say, license revoked. She swung on the cop. It's a mess. There are two other individuals. I should have stopped the video and pointed it out. There's a young lady that comes and gets her phone. I'm waiting for you to put your camera off, Wayne. Gets her phone and then calls her mother. So I guess the mother could come pick up the kid. They have some halo law saying that when you're within 25 feet of an officer trying to do their job, you could get arrested. Two people were arrested, but the crazy part is they allowed the gentleman that was kind of helping the cop out. He was okay. This is a hot, stinking mess. It's a hot, stinking mess. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Oh, that's a lot to take in. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those cases where I'm going to be on both sides of the fence. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Mm-hmm.
She was wrong for swinging on this man. She was wrong for trying to walk away from him. I would give the police that. But he was wrong for the way he punched her and drug her by her. I did not like that at all. We got to stop saying it's okay to manhandle women. It's not. By the time they got her in that car, she was busted up from head to toe. In the rain. There's got to be a better way to de-escalate the situation in this. And it was children. Lord, nobody even tried to wrangle the kids away from this. The baby was hollering mama the whole time. This is awful. This is awful. But we got to start checking ourselves as well. Okay? If you ain't got a driving license, don't be on the road. If you ain't got a registered tag, don't be on the road. If your license is suspended, get it corrected. There are places that you can go to get your license corrected if it's not been taken for something strenuous. But this could have all been avoided. It really could have. She could have went with him freely, gave her information. She probably would have just got a ticket. She escalated this, and it went left. I am so horrific. This is, it's horrible.
Thank you, Julius.
The officer wasn't aggressive at first. She started to escalate by not cooperating. Because the first thing they asked, like, hey, what's your license? Registration, yada, yada, yada. That's what he was asking for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you didn't have your license on you, give him your name. He probably could have looked it up in the computer. They have access to the state's driving database.
Mm-hmm.
But he seen that her license was revoked. in the way she was parked at the school. She wasn't supposed to be parked that way. She was wrong for laying hands on him and for biting him. Once, like, if you were that worried about your child, why did you not comply? No, knowing you was at her school. Lead by example. It starts at home.
48. 48, are you there? All right, I don't know what happened to 48. Okay. Wayne, your thoughts?
Diva. Oh, pass me on this one, Diva.
Okay, Callie.
Okay. This is the thing. I still don't know how it escalated to this. And I do mean escalated because police officers are supposed to de-escalate situations. I would not want to be a police officer. But I do understand that if you're going to be dealing with the public, you're going to be dealing with people that ain't there all the way. And we get set and say she should have did this, she should have did that. I don't think this woman. I call people like this. These people are unwell. Like, they're just barely able to function, barely getting through life. They got a lot of issues. She was already driving on suspended license. And when you're dealing with the public, you're going to encounter those people. You can't always just beat them down. And this is what a lot of people are complaining about, with the police officers not being trained to handle people that have issues or that are coming at them crazy because they have a bad day, or they just don't know how to relate to people. I would have never swung on this police officer. I think most people wouldn't have. So this woman obviously is. I promise you, if you really dig into this woman's life, she probably got a whole lot of issues going on. But should have never come to that. That situation should have been de-escalated a lot better than that. I'm sorry, it should have never even went. It should have never even gone that far where she was swinging on him.
I appreciate you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yeah, Diva, I hear you, everybody. Even though, I guess he had to do what he had to do, get her off him, but that still was excessive. Um, and if she left her car in the middle of the road, I guess at the school, because she said she didn't want her daughter to get wet or something like that. And she's running in to get her daughter, and you got to look at it like this. How many people, I'm not saying that she was right, but how many people out there that be driving with DUIs or driving without drunk or whatsoever and get away with it? And I know they're saying that her license and all that was suspended and all that type of stuff. Okay, the thing is, in the state that I'm from, if your license are suspended, you don't have no insurance, they tell you have to turn in your tag. So if you don't turn in your tag, that's more fees added onto your tag when you want to get it back out. Because maybe I don't know why they didn't take hers or whatsoever. I'm not for sure. But in the state that I know, they would take your tag if you don't have insurance and if your license and stuff is suspended. So it failed on all parts. She failed by doing what she was doing, and he failed by arresting her the way that he arrested her. Yes, still, I guess he was doing it off reflex and all that, but that still was a woman. And like I said, both of them was wrong. She more wrong than him, but both of them is wrong. But that's all I got.
Felicia.
Good evening, everybody. I'm having some challenges with the PC, but to God the glory, He let me in. You let me in. First of all, thank you, Wayne, for your commentary on the last story. I deeply appreciated it. Diva didn't get to show Ben Crump at the press conference. I don't know if you plan on showing him at the press conference.
I'll show the rest a little bit later.
And Julius, you know I love you, but there's a big piece that you missed. He kicked her. He grabbed her arm before before anything could be de-escalated. She said, please don't grab me like that. Why are you grabbing me? Now, he said, no, you're not going back onto the car. He said, no, you're not going back to the car. And he takes her over to the police car. When he's taking her over, he kicked her. You could run it again. He kicked her. I don't think they train you that way in the police department. I don't think that's part of the police officer training to de-escalate a situation. And I happen to agree with Karen. You go into this business of enforcing the law. You are supposed to know that everybody you run into is not going to be an easy arrest, someone you can easily communicate with. Sometimes it's going to be some rough days. And thank you to the folks in the chat who thought about all those children he was doing all that abuse around. So I deserve to get punched in the face, knee in the back, put on a chokehold, kicked, my hair pulled out because I bit you. You know, we have gotten so conditioned, not all of us, some of us, to Black women being beaten down and bullied and brutalized, that we think that's okay. About 4 months ago, Diva, you did a story with some nurse, some white woman nurse, that she was going in because they were going to charge her for murder or whatever. And they had a nice little sweet conversation with her right out there in the driveway.
Yeah, they did.
They even took the handcuffs off and walked her into her house so she could make a couple of phone calls before they went to go down to the station so she could be indicted. And I'm hearing, well, she threw some punches. You damn right she did. She was fighting for her life. And if it wasn't for that school administrator with the umbrella, I believe she would have been dead. And I read here, well, sometimes, you know, it's just best not to resist. Eric Gardner didn't resist, and he's dead. He was selling some Lucy cigarettes outside of a store. They put him in a chokehold. He's dead. We need to understand that none of us are in who we normally may be. I don't know about the folks on this panel or in this chat, but when law enforcement approaches me, I don't think something good is going to happen. I don't feel safe. And she's out there, she's just focusing on wanting to go get her daughter out of the rain. Okay, what you call it, Diva? Driving dirty, driving unlicensed, whatever. There's a way to approach a human being who is violating the law. She was a bloody, beat down mess in a car in front of all these kids because she didn't have a driver's license that was in good standing. Now, I need that officer out of there, and I need his boss retired. I don't want him fired without money. I don't want him to lose his pension, but I need him to go. And we need to start valuing ourselves better than this. We want to put our children in jail for life and have our mothers being beaten and brutalized on these streets because they don't have a legitimate driver's license. Thank you, God, for letting me in tonight. I'm done.
I appreciate you. And listen, let me tell you what I love here. I'm coming to you, Amy J. Give me a minute. Let me tell you what I love here, y'all. We all got our own opinions. And the people are telling you, Felicia, preach. They loving you speaking your truth, and they're loving it. This is Diva veering off on the train car by herself. From the jump, she should have never been driving. There are sometimes these people that not supposed, she had multiple violations with driving that her license was revoked. If she would have been driving and hurt somebody's kid and had this revoked license, then what? My thing is, you got this revoked license, you know you driving dirty, go park in a spot, then go get your kid and then come back out. But you bring attention to yourself because you left your car in the area, then the car running, then she took off her shoes. Let me just say this. Do I think the situation on both sides could have been handled better? Absolutely. But I think she was already on 10 because she knew that she didn't have the proper paperwork to be driving in the first place. So my thing is, the cop caught you. Yeah, maybe the people do park illegally all the time, but maybe they're parking illegally and they got their license and their insurance and everything in order. I think from the jump, she was on 10 because she knew her paperwork and her license wasn't just suspended, it was revoked. Suspension and revoked is two different things. So you had to do a whole lot for your license to get revoked. So she was already on 20 because she knew she didn't have the paperwork to show him in the first place. And she knew that at the end of the day, that car would have got impounded. She would have got tickets. She might have got arrested because she did not have the proper paperwork. So I just want to start there for me. That's just me and the train alone. So now he's asking you, and you like, leave me alone, my daughter, my this, my that, boop, 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 bye. No, like, where's your paperwork? Did he have the right to put his hands on her and say, no, you're not going to move? And no, you're not going to go back to the car and all of that? No. Did it go left? It went left. It went to hell in a handbag real quick. And do I agree with the aftermath and everything that happened in the midst of that? I do not. But I have to say this too. You literally duking up with an officer, knowing how things go down in the world, is crazy to me. At some point, I would have been like, okay, listen, all right, let me calm down. What you need from me? And I would have been like, I don't have it, and let's see what happens from there. And the fact that in front of the kids, well, they both was doing this in front of the kids. She started in front of her own kid. And knowing that your kid is with you, I would have definitely kept it on the low, but like, listen, I don't have my license. I don't have this. I don't have that. Can I call my mother in case where I don't know what you about to do, but can I call my mother to come get the kid? So I feel like these conversations are hard, but that's why we do these trending topics. I feel like, and I'm coming to you, Amy J, give me a minute. I feel like when we have these conversations, it's like no matter what, when it comes to the black people, we want to just always call it dead wrong. And I care about the black mothers, the black brothers, the black people, because I'm black. But I gotta call the thing a thing when I see a thing. And for me, this thing was not 100% on the cop at all.
This thing, Diva, was about excessive force. That's what this is about.
And I'm inching and I'm trying to connect with you on that. And I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that from the jump, she was wrong. And if she would approach this thing right from the jump, knowing that she was wrong, it could have perhaps went differently. How am I driving dirty?
Again,
I'm driving dirty with a revoked license.
Diva, I'm not saying anything about how she's driving. We're talking about excessive force.
So you cool with her?
Well, I'm going to ask you, between these two people, who is the trained professional? Answer that. Who's the trained professional?
The officer is, but you
okay.
Cool with her
So
if she swung first,
up with the cop, Felicia?
She swung
you
first.
You cool with her duking up with the cop?
Julia, she did not. He kicked her. Go
back
and watch
it. I seen the video. She swung first. Sorry if someone's swinging on me first. I'm swinging back.
When we're backstage, maybe Diva will run it again. He kicks her early on after he grabs her arm. He is a trained professional. He ain't me and he ain't you. And I'll say this. Had that been my daughter that he was dragging and beating and bloodying up, then you all would have seen me in the video.
Good God.
Okay? Because I'm not going to be Diva. I don't know how to stay calm. I don't know how to say, oh, okay, he's going to de-escalate somewhere between passed out and near death. No.
It wouldn't have got there. She had to stop walking. It wouldn't have got there.
Come on now. See. Here's the other problem too. In this situation, if she would have got caught on the street versus in front of the school, I think it didn't get deadly because they was in front of the school and all them people was there. If she would have got caught on the street and she would have been duking up a cop, they could be having her funeral right now. At the end of the day, you have to always, you know what? I tell my son, I'd rather you come home with tickets alive than you trying to prove yourself out. No, I don't. Amy J, jump in.
Hey, so I will say when you're on a campus, looks like they were on a public school campus or some type of school campus, cops have to move a little bit different in how they interact because these are people's parents and their children lives watching. I kind of got a gist of what the area is looking like. They might have a really bad like pick up and drop off lane. And I think in her rational mind, what she was thinking is, I don't want to get in that lane. It's going to take me forever. And then my child don't got the umbrellas. Let me just pull on over on this side, even though it's illegal. And most schools, like in my daughter's school, we have like police officers on campus, but they're able to de-escalate stuff like that because they're trained to understand that these are not just random people, they're parents. I don't think this particular cop, if he is, was regularly dealing with these families because it seemed like the office administrator was really trying to de-escalate it because he knew that parent. But at the same time, the parent at this point has went haywall, and the police officer is treating her like most police officers treat people who are aggressive. I personally did not think he should have went to that extreme, but I also saw she bit him. So I can't tell how a person should feel if somebody's biting you. That's breaking your skin. That's disease transfer. We don't know what this woman has. It had completely escalated because the two parties were not backing down and their egos were all up in the mix. I just think that on a school campus that can't go on because these are people who drop their children off and trust you with their kids, and also with the license and stuff like that. You don't want the place where they are enforcing these rules to be on the kids campus. So I look at the officer like there's so many things he could have fixed, but I also understand once you get someone there like you biting him and punching him, I don't know how I would react, but I sure enough wouldn't be all nice and friendly with her. But that should have never got to that level. Next time, mom, you can't drop in the middle of the road. You got to go all the way to the building to pick her up. No ifs, ands, questions about it. Point,
No,
and if you can't
no,
do that,
this particular mom, she needed to be on a bus, a public bus, a train, or walking to get her kid with the umbrella. Her license was revoked.
yeah, but at that moment, I understand what you're saying, but I've seen these situations. I worked at a school building, and you always have to keep in mind, and the police who do work on school campuses are always thinking as well. They're trained to think parent, family. Unless it's like a DV case or a teacher being attacked, will an officer get that aggressive? Most of the time they don't want to upset the children, even if it is a traffic violation or something. Just put a ticket on her car and keep it moving. You don't have to engage the person because that's what happens. And it seemed like she wasn't really trying to engage with him. She just wanted to ignore him, which was not a good idea because he's not used to being on a school campus. I've never seen a police officer who works with schools behave like he did. But I'm sorry, all bets are off when you bite me. I'm gonna have a problem with you. That bite was big and it was deep.
I'm having a feeling while she was going to get her kids, he already ran her plates. And once he ran her plates, he already knew license revoked, this, that, and the other.
Yeah, but as a school police officer,
Do I think that he approached this situation off the jump right initially? No, I do not. But the situation went left, and I'm starting with the starting factor. She was driving dirty. 48. Your thoughts?
Um, okay, so whatever happened to like you get more flies with honey or whatever that saying is. Like for me, when I was in my early to mid 20s, I occasionally ride dirty. You know, I had a couple of tickets, I had a couple of warrants out. And when HPD will pull me over, I smile, you know, how you doing? Officer, I'm just going up to go get my baby some milk. I don't have whatever, you looking for, but can you please just let me off this one time? You don't even have to run my name. I know I'm not supposed to be driving. Lord, I promise you, you won't see me no more. I'm going to take the back streets. It just didn't make no sense. Right. And then she's one of those parents that annoys the hell out of me that I have to get in the car lane for an hour and 10 minutes to get a decent spot. I'm in Houston, Texas, and they go through the neighborhood to go through the carpool to go get your kids in the car lane.
Talk.
So, yeah, to see a parent just pull over and then hop out, I'll be ready to cuss out the lady that's going to go get the teacher, the lady that's telling me to turn in, the other lady that's holding the sign telling me to stop, the other lady that's bringing me my son. I'm ready to go off on everybody. That's not fair to everybody else in the car lane. Now, to me, I'm with you, Diva. She messed up as soon as she wasn't following instructions. And when you know that you wrong, it just don't make sense to just act like you right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like get along. You know what I'm saying? It's not bowing down. It's just, you know what, damn, I'm caught.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let me see if this officer, maybe he'll have a little understanding. It's maybe my car old and messed up. I can't, turn it off or, whatever. I had to get a jump to get here. Maybe something like that. But now with the officer, to me, I'm with Miss Felicia and I'm with Callie too. In my opinion, the aggressiveness with the woman was a bit much for me, but then it's kind of hard for me to feel bad for her because she live in America and she black. So you're not using your brain, you're not thinking, Why would you think to put your hands up to swing on a lawman and you wrong? Could it possibly be that you could get some kind of lawsuit money? Maybe. But who's gonna, like, you were the aggressor. You initiated all of this. Now, should he get a punishment? Yeah, he shouldn't work. He shouldn't get paid. We shouldn't be paying for him to go to another, or yeah, I ain't even gonna, we shouldn't pay, taxpayers shouldn't pay for him to be at another department, because like Miss Felicia said, you are the professional. Now, yes, you know that you're stronger than a woman. Maybe you didn't have to punch her. Maybe it is a human reaction, but as the professional, I'm not expecting you to, like, punch this woman in the face, to swing her down with her hair. Maybe if he punched her once, then, like, just put her up against the car. Maybe, but I think all the other stuff was a bit much. You know what I'm saying? With the knee on the lady neck, then it looked rough. But it's hard for me to excuse it or feel bad for the lady, because she should know better. You should know that this gonna happen. It happens to people that look like us more often than others. But he should be punished, but I don't think, like, it's both of them wrong. Like I put in the comments, both of them wrong. If I was the judge, she go to jail and he go to jail, and he wouldn't be able to work as a police officer if it was up to me.
Say what? He can't work and he should be fired?
I don't think he should work on a school campus. He can work as an officer, but not on the school campus with children and parents.
I think he escalated that situation.
So let me say this. You don't want your child to get wet, but you was okay with your child seeing you get crazy with the officer.
I don't think she thought he was gonna go that far. It just went there. They both had egos at that point.
Oh no, she thought it was gonna go that far, because that's the reason why she took off her shoes. Okay, let's be clear. Let's be clear. When a black woman take off her shoes, she getting ready. Okay, you ain't taking off your shoes for nothing. She took off them shoes because she knew.
Wait a minute, opinion. She took off her shoes when she got out the car to go get her daughter.
Yeah,
she took off them shoes.
You know what? Watch the tape again.
No, okay, let's roll it back, because I thought she took off the shoes, or she was already out the car talking to the officer, and then
she took off them shoes and said, "Officer, let's not do this around my kid." She kept on walking. He was grabbing her arm. She said, "No, let's not do this." Okay, like, trust and believe. Okay, there was plenty of time she could have stopped. Okay, it ain't gonna make no difference. You running away from him, you're not gonna get away. Let's be clear.
No,
she wasn't gonna get away. If she had stopped,
she wasn't going anywhere.
If she had stopped, yes, but Miss Felicia, had she stopped, this would have all been avoided.
You need to be in the jail, under the jail, and dead. I'm not going there today. Excessive force is excessive force. It was too much.
Maybe he needs to work like.
So hold on, guys. Let me just do. Oh my goodness, this thing.
But she came out the spin move and swung on the officer. She posted.
Yeah, and then she bit him too. That part took me out. I would have probably clicked out at that part if I was a cop.
He's one of the school administrators. So if you'll see, the school administrators were there trying to keep everyone back. And largely, in my opinion, they helped keep that officer at least with some sort of comfort level while he's engaged with that individual.
Where were the individuals in the video that were violating the halo?
So there was an elderly, an older lady wearing a pinkish red shirt. I believe at one point she used an expletive and said she wasn't even worried about the 25 feet. And then there was a young girl. You saw her come in later after things started wrapping up a bit. You saw her come in later and grab the phone. She was one of the ones that was standing there with a lot of the chirping that was going on.
The one who got the phone, what happens to that person?
She's going to be arrested.
Oh. Also, you'd say the officer was doing his job. He followed all DJs and training.
Yeah. So the first thing we do before we even do this stuff, before we bring it out here, we look at it. We send it to our experts, our use of force experts, to look at everything that he does in that process. And he followed the rules. He followed the laws. It's shocking to me that you square up to fight a police officer just maybe when you're going to get a citation, you're probably going to end up going to jail because it's a third-degree felony for a revoked habitual traffic violator license. But it's remarkable to me that you're willing to stand up and go toe-to-toe, which is, I can't understand that.
Was the officer there doing traffic for the idea school? And as far as, I know there was a scuffle getting hurt into restraint.
Yeah.
Can you explain what took so long? And also, were there other officers, I guess, who were on the way?
He was the only one that was there. He was there by himself. There were other officers that were on the way. But, you know, sometimes if you're in different locations, Tarek, it takes a little bit to get there. He was, I believe, I didn't speak to him directly. I believe he was trying to hold her until she kind of gassed out. And then eventually you saw, you know, put her hands behind her back so he can get those handcuffs on her.
She was saying that she couldn't breathe. It was kind of hard to tell what exactly kind of. You know,
yeah, I'll give you a test. Jake, I'll give you a test. Go home and let your wife choke you and try to talk. You can see, you can hear whether someone's being, their airways being blocked or you can't talk. She could breathe. He was using, if you look underneath, you can see that his hands weren't even knotted together where he was pulling. He was just holding her to make sure that he could keep control of her. And it's pretty obvious he didn't want to go too far. He wanted to make sure he followed the rules and made sure he did this the best way that he could. And I commend him for that. The hard part is this is not an easy job. And it's not getting any easier. Now, we all volunteer to do this, right? We want to do this because we love where we live. It's not an easy job, and it's making it more difficult when police officers come out here and try to affect the law lawfully and do the things that we're supposed to do, and then you get surrounded like that. It's dangerous. Anything can happen. So we want to make sure that we let folks know as part of a public service announcement that if you do this and you're asked not to do it, you're going to get arrested because we're going to review it and you're going to get arrested. I care about this community being safe, and I care about the police officers that work here being safe, which is very important. You have to have some comfort level that you're going to know that you can go out there, take care of your job, and go home safely. So we want to make sure people understand that.
Is this the first time JSO's made an arrest using the HALO law?
This is the very first time, yes, sir.
Sheriff, to follow up on Tarek's question.
Yeah.
Was he working the school zone?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't answer that.
Or was he just passing through?
No, he was working that school, not a school zone. So we have a safe schools program. You know, when after the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas situation.
He was the resource officer there.
No, he wasn't a resource officer. We provide officers to schools in our city to do safe schools, to make sure the schools stay safe. And he was working in that with that program.
And then the initial reason he made contact with her again, can you just go over that?
She left her car unattended, illegally parked in the roadway, and it was still running. And I think this is just an assumption. I want to make sure you're clear. We're clear on this. I think he saw that. Someone talked to him about that because that's part of his duties there when school's letting out. And when he began to approach and have the discussion, you saw how it played out from there.
So McGriff was arrested. The woman in the pink shirt, she was arrested.
Yes.
And the person who later in the video broke the HALO's violation to grab the phone, that person will be arrested.
Yes, and that juvenile has a pickup order for threatening the school.
So how does this work for officers? I mean, I know the HALO law has been in effect, but just as far as it would be more of a priority put on having that space so officers can do their job.
Yeah, so we'll train on it. We'll make sure we discuss, and they normally do that. You know, you get yourself in a situation like that, you normally say, get back, give me some space. But we'll train on it to make sure that they give that warning to get back. Sometimes if it's bad enough, Tarek, they're not going to be able to say, you have to give me 25 feet. They're going to say, get back, and that's going to serve as that warning to get back. So we'll train on it to make sure that happens, and we'll move from here. My hope is that we don't have those issues. I don't mind people, and I can tell you this, I don't mind people standing beyond 25 feet, videoing or saying what you're going to say, because people are going to do that, and you have the right to say what you want to say. But if it gets to a point where it creates an uncomfortable level for our police officer who may or may not get hurt by someone in a crowd, then we have to draw the line.
Do you know the person who captured the cell phone video? Were they one of the people that violated the HALO law or no?
No, not that I know of. There were a lot of people that were standing there that weren't really even screaming. You know, there were just some agitators there, a lot of agitators there, and we were able to find the ones that definitely disobeyed that law. We'll make sure we don't just, you know, we don't want a scatter effect. We want to just point out the ones that violated that law and then take action from there.
Do you have any advice public, I guess they're witnessing an officer, in a physical altercation or whatever, your sort of best advice in terms of what they should do to avoid violating this law?
Just make sure you stand far enough away and allow him or her to do their jobs. Like I said, it's a difficult job. It's not easy. Recently, things have changed dramatically. Cameras on everyone's cell phone, people want to get videos and post them. We understand. That's fine. It's part of the process. We get it. But my advice would be, don't get within that space. And when you're asked, or once he says get back, or she says get back, then get back. Get back, move away far enough so that he can continue to do his job or her job safely. We don't want them getting into a situation where they may find themselves hurt by someone that's watching. And that happens, and it has happened. And I'm thankful to the Florida legislature for passing this law, because it helps.
Discretionary law, though, as well, kind of like the administrator who helped wouldn't be charged, but the person who got too close would.
Well, when you have an administrator helping, standing there with an umbrella, just helping and trying to hold people back, you wouldn't charge that individual anyway, because part of it is being harassing, not just standing there. You have to be able to be harassing them or doing something to make them feel like they're unsafe. They weren't doing that. There was others around that were. So it's not necessarily discretionary. You can look at the statute, follow the statute, see what it says, and apply the statute to the people that are violating it.
I think this carries on to that. The person with the cell phone seems to also be within 25 feet.
Yep.
And is
Not saying a word. Not saying a word from what we could see. So, she's recording. He says get back. Never agitated, never harassed, just standing there. And just standing there holding the phone is not necessarily harassment, right? We'd be in all kinds of problems. We'd be violating their rights then. But we would like for them to move back when asked. We'd like for you just to be moved to be 25 feet or beyond without even being asked. Because of the climate sometimes that we find ourselves in.
that exists in discretionary nature, but the person's action.
No. It's spelled out in the statute. Look at the statutes. 843.31 in the Florida statutes. It talks about harassing behavior, not just standing there.
Okay. But like taking cell phone video is not necessarily harassing video.
No, I wouldn't call it harassing. People do it all the time.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
There's more, because what he was talking about in there is this HALO law, and the HALO law is, what they're trying to, they arrested two other people, the woman that came and got the cell phone, but it doesn't make sense, right? Because all she did was get the cell phone. She wasn't getting the cell phone, yelling at the cops, but two people got arrested and detained. This we're going to have to do, I guess, a part 2 on this. We see, the stance of the panel, and you see where I'm standing. I'll say this, and y'all can throw daggers at the screen, but somebody said in the chat, Cox want to get home safely too. 60 seconds, we're closing out. Anybody have anything to say? 60 seconds.
I thought you were going to give us more information about the girl who went down to Florida, or you had videos on it, or no?
Oh, I gave that in the beginning. I just told what happened, the one that went down to Florida. I don't know if she had her baby. Nadira, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'll do a part 2. 60 seconds. I'm about to close out. Everybody's good?
No, I ain't good.
I know you ain't
good. Justice. No, I want justice, and I want it tonight.
I know you ain't good. Listen.
I mean, everybody good. No, I ain't good. I want justice tonight.
What you want us to do? Go down there and handle it?
No, I want TK retired, and I want Holton fired.
Okay. Let's see how that happens.
You want the sheriff fired?
That ain't gonna happen.
I want him retired. I said he could keep his pension and all that other good stuff. Somebody in the chat said, hey, they kind of know him. Yeah, but he need to go. Amen, and thank you for that affirmation. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No, we're not firing the chief of police. We're not firing the cop that was in this particular situation. We're not firing him. I say
He
no.
needs more training on how to be on school campuses. There's a different technique on how you deal with families on
No,
campuses.
No,
no,
here's the thing. Here's
hold on.
the
Oh, wait, give me 1 second. In my opinion, I think that the training should be the same whether you on the school campus or you out in the street. Family is family, and kids are kids, and people
No,
are.
it's different, Diva. It's the whole thing.
No, it's the same. But here's the problem: is she was driving dirty.
That's fine, but still, how you engage a family, whether you see them dirty or not, they have whole social workers in a school building, so you can't just treat them like criminals before they get inside of there. My thing is, as a cop, you're just trying to make sure everyone safely gets in the building with no problems.
They
Giving
was
out tickets and making sure these
time to go
person.
home, and she should have took a Uber, a Lyft. This girl, she
The idea is she might not have the
dirty,
money. I'm
she
assuming that.
parked dirty, and she's driving dirty. And then
My
when she
assumption.
didn't want to show her paperwork because she ain't have none. Listen, guys, I love y'all. I love you.
Something, Diva?
And y'all know it's okay. Y'all know it's okay. I could be on the
Get it. I get it.
I could be on the train alone. Y'all know it's okay. I love your back, even though y'all agree with me.
I was on the train with the girl in Florida. I was on that train. We was
I
cruising.
agree with you, Diva. I agree with you.
I hear you. It's okay. We'll do a part 2 to this because we got to go into this Halo law where 2 other people got arrested, which is totally insane. And that's why the guy in the press conference says, how you arrested 2 other people, but you was okay with the administrator holding the umbrella. Like, this is crazy.
Was de-escalating. That's why.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, don't break the law. Come on, walking on sunshine. Don't break the law. Listen, I love
gosh, y'all funny.
Felicia want people fired and retired.
Y'all want them in jail forever. I think it's kind of equal.
Listen, love y'all. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
Choo choo.